Do you feel undervalued and underpaid? Do you feel like the ceiling is low and within online ESL teaching you'll never really be able to progress the way that you feel that you can and the way that you feel that you should? Do you feel frustrated with the way companies are treating you, or do you feel discouraged with the difficulties in getting bookings and getting hired with a lot of online ESL companies? If you do, this video is for you. Hey, it's Tim from OnlineTeacherDude.com. I want to welcome you back to this channel if you are returning, and if you are new, thank you so much for being here. Please hit subscribe if you are interested in online teaching, working from home, or building an online teaching business. I am so excited to have you here because today we are going to be talking about taking that next step in online teaching, being able to be a little bit more independent in this industry. We're going to talk to Chris from Off2Class and talk about what Off2Class offers for online teachers. As well, we are going to talk about some of the struggles that teachers face when they are thinking about going more independent and taking those first steps or getting their feet wet into independent online teaching. Hello, Chris. Thank you so much for joining me today. So glad to have you and to chat about Off2Class and just what you guys are offering and how this can be really helpful and beneficial to teachers and hopefully to a lot of folks that are watching videos on my channel. Would you mind just introducing yourself and telling folks what you do at Off2Class? That would be great.
Yeah, absolutely, Tim. Thanks so much for having me. So my name is Chris Rush, and I am a content marketer for Off2Class. And just in one sentence, Off2Class is a toolkit for online ESL teachers for them to save time on lesson planning and reach more students.
Awesome. So teachers can essentially join Off2Class, and if they were a new member to the platform, what would Off2Class be sort of giving them in terms of value, and what would they be able to do on the platform, Chris?
Sure, yeah. So Off2Class does offer a free account for ESL teachers. And basically, Off2Class just combines three tools that are usually separate. So the first tool is a lesson library. We've got over 1,000 ready to teach lessons that are split up by topic, and they're split up by level as well. And those are really meant for synchronous live teaching, like over Zoom,
Okay.
where I would be on one side as the teacher, my student is on the other. Both of us are logged into Off2Class. You actually don't need to screen share. Everything is synced. And that's the first tool. The second tool is asynchronous homework assignments, so you can measure your students' progress and they have something to do between the lessons. And then the third thing to do is a comprehensive placement test, where you can give it to a student at the beginning and it will connect all of their mistakes to the lessons from the lesson library that will fix them, generate a customized learning plan so that you'll always know what you need to teach.
Cool. So so I was thinking about teachers that might see the lesson library and kind of be overwhelmed, like, okay, I've got these students. Now, just so folks know, a lot of my content is about working for online companies and platforms that already provide the curriculum and they provide the platform, companies like VIP Kid and GoGo Kid. So what we're talking about today is if you wanted to branch out from companies like that and go on your own, or if you had students and you're just like, I've got a few students that want to go private teaching with me, what do I teach them? If they were to go into a platform like Off2Class, I was kind of wondering, so is there a way that you could customize the lessons and stuff so that, you were kind of not just going, okay, today I'm going to teach grammar, or today I'm going to teach whatever it
Yeah.
is. So that sounds like there's a
Yeah.
placement test to do that.
Yeah, that's right. And you're exactly right. Off2Class is a tool to help teachers go independent, because
Mm,
at the end of the day, no teaching platform will be able to pay a teacher as much as you could earn if you were charging a student directly. And
yeah.
so the idea is that all the tools that you need to do that are cheap or easy or free, right? You just need a laptop, you need a webcam, you need Zoom or WeChat or Skype, you need Google Calendar, you need PayPal. All of these things are easy, simple, free, or inexpensive. The
Yeah.
problem is, what's the material that I use?
Right.
And that's the biggest barrier that most people have to going independent, because they don't know, what am I going to teach? And
Hmm.
Off to Class is a resource to say, don't worry, we've got you covered. We've got a huge lesson library, and you don't even need to choose what comes next. You just can have your student take the placement test, and then we're going to show you what you should be teaching the student.
That's awesome. So can you just kind of summarize like what lessons are on there? I mean, is it mostly focused on English language learners? And
Yes, it's
okay.
completely ESL, right? So it's entirely ESL. We don't do other subjects. We don't do other languages. It's 100%. And basically, the lesson library is divided into two major parts. One part is like a course book where it's like, oh,
Mm,
you've got a student who is a high beginner and A2. Great. Here's A2 lesson 1, lesson 2, lesson 3. You just go. And then we have another big section that are single skill lessons. And that's
okay.
where a teacher could get creative. So we could do a speaking lesson one day, or we could do a specific grammar lesson about a specific point another day. And this is where a teacher could really kind of mix and match and put things together and design a custom course. But it's really up to the teacher. Some teachers love to do that, and some teachers would rather just say, show me what to teach in the order to teach it in, and
Yeah.
to save time.
Yeah. So you've kind of got both of those avenues that teachers could take. That's cool. Yeah. I think it's, the idea of going independent is something I've heard lots of teachers talk about, and folks that watch my videos are always growing endlessly frustrated at times with the limited pay that you were talking about. Teachers are not going to be able to get paid what they want, but I also think as well what they deserve, and what the value that they're giving
Absolutely.
is always worth more than the $15 an hour that they're going to get at some companies, or even less. So yeah, I think it's really appealing and exciting to many people. And I had wanted to ask you also about this free account that Off2Class was offering. Can you
Yeah.
expand? Because during the pandemic, as a member or subscriber to the site, I got an email about the free account that was a little bit different than what you had before. Maybe you could speak to that for a minute.
Yeah, absolutely. So in the past, we always offered a 30-day free trial.
Hmm.
And that was fine, but you did need to make a decision after 30 days. So
Yeah.
with the new free account, it really just opens up Off to Class to a whole wider audience. So we have a core set of 150 lessons that are
Okay.
part of the free account, and you can use it with up to 20 students. So we really tried to make a set on the free account that would be useful. And there may be some people, whether it's because you simply see a need for ESL in your community, you may or may not have teaching experience,
Hmm.
depending on where you are with ESL teaching, the free account may serve people indefinitely. So
Mm,
that's why we wanted to move away from a trial
mm.
and move into something where we want to offer this core functionality that includes the placement test, it includes homework, it includes this key 150 lessons,
Hmm.
so that anyone in any circumstance, anywhere in the world, can have access to the tool.
Okay. You might have said this in the beginning, but just so I got it right, you've also got the platform where student and teacher meet with the lesson. Is that right? Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
So that kind of speaks to the Off to Class classroom.
Yep.
So if I'm teaching you,
Yep.
what I would do is I would open a lesson
Yep.
in Off to Class. I can connect Off to Class with Zoom. So you and I don't even have to go to Zoom first. Both of us just go to
I
Off
didn't
to
know that. That's
Class.
great.
Yeah, yeah. So we both just go to Off to Class. We
Okay.
log in, and once we go to the lesson, and there'll be as the student, there'll be a button that says join the lesson, because I'm your teacher. I pick the lesson and I open
Yeah.
it. Then we'll each get a button that prompts us to join our video conferencing meeting. And we work with Zoom, we work with anything that's link based, and
Okay.
it'll take you right to the Zoom meeting. And then as you and I are here talking, as I advance the slides on my browser, the slide advances on your browser. As
Cool.
I make drawings with the pen, they're reflected on your side. Everything happens in real time.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah, I didn't realize that. That's really great. Now, another thing I was thinking of, since a lot of people do start out with companies, and there's kind of that bridge from working for maybe an online ESL company to going independent if you wanted to get into like a marketplace type of company,
Right.
like italki, Preply, OutSchool now is becoming really popular. Have you seen teachers using some of these platforms, like maybe italki, I think is mostly focused on language? Have they been able to link out off the
That's
class with
that's what I
yeah.
did.
Okay.
That
Oh,
was
cool.
that was my path.
Okay.
So I started off working for an online school,
Mm-hmm.
and it was and this was actually, this was early. This was 2013. This was before
Oh, that's a
like
long time
VIP
ago.
Kid really exploded. Yeah.
Yeah.
So and actually the story of what happened is that the value of the euro. I live in the United States. I was
Mm-hmm.
being paid in euros, and it
Mm-hmm.
was like 1.6 at that time.
Wow. Yep.
And so it went, and this is around 2014. It went from 1.6 to 1.3 or 1.2,
Uh-huh.
and it was like suddenly I got a big pay cut,
Right.
and so I didn't know what to do. Of course, the company couldn't be sympathetic because for them, they were paying, that was what they paid, and in their
Mm-hmm.
currency. I found out about italki. I moved to italki. I found out about Off2Class. I started with Off2Class as a customer.
Mm-hmm.
And so actually I spent 2 years traveling in an RV around the United States. And
Awesome.
I just taught everywhere I went because I had italki giving me students, and I had Off2Class, which is what was
Yep.
providing the lesson material that I was using.
Yeah. Wow. That's cool. I just kind of I guessed your path. I don't know. No, I didn't know that,
Yeah,
but
right. Yeah,
I
we
think
hadn't talked about
I
that.
think it's like a natural thing that, people that are kind of wanting to get their feet wet in independent teaching. Okay, so that sort of brings me to the struggles of that and the challenges of that. So, okay, you're working for VIP Kid, you've got your lessons, you've got your students, and they pay you. Not the highest amount, and this is why people may be getting frustrated with low bookings, lack of incentives, and getting paid not as much as what they feel they're worth. So, where do you get your curriculum? You get your curriculum with Off2Class. You can go onto these marketplace type platforms. And I think a lot of people, when I see people looking to go independent, they struggle with the idea of, okay, where to get the curriculum, where to teach on. You've got that covered. Where to get the students? So now, like, Off2Class doesn't have the students already on the platform looking for teachers. So obviously you're going to have to market yourself and things like that. I'm wondering, Chris, if in your experience, either with the teachers that you have on the platform who have found students, or with yourself, how would a teacher start looking? And this
Okay.
is a big topic. I know we don't have to
It's
get into this
huge.
into this
Yeah.
in a major way, but maybe just briefly, like, what would be some things that someone could think about starting to look at in terms of social media, or I don't know, things like that. So I'd love to
Yeah.
pick your brain for a couple minutes on that.
Sure. Well, I think one of the things I see all the time
Hmm.
is teachers get into this false dilemma of either I need to make $12 an hour working for this company, or I need to get a website and a domain and a
Right.
logo and content marketing and a lead magnet and email.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's hard, right? And
Yeah.
so what happens is it becomes this giant fork in the road, and teachers don't know about or forget about that there is this middle way with the marketplaces. I
Mm.
strongly encourage teachers to use the marketplaces
Hmm.
because you need to develop some of the skills that you need for a private business. For example, how to
Yeah.
make an attractive profile to a student, how to make an enticing video that will make the student want to take a trial lesson with you,
Right.
how to have and structure a successful trial lesson that naturally and without any pressure leads the student to the place where they can make a confident decision to choose you as their teacher. These are
Mm.
not skills that teachers have normally, right? This
Right.
isn't this isn't in your TEFL certificate or your CELTA really where you
Yeah.
learn how to do this.
Yeah.
But by going to a marketplace like italki, you can work on those skills, but you don't have to do the website. You don't
Yeah.
have to do any content marketing or email or social media posting.
Yeah.
I really strongly recommend that as a middle way because it's so much less to learn.
Yeah. And you learn a lot about that marketing and those kind of business strategies, I guess, in terms of if you were to kind of take it even a step further. So,
You need to
yeah.
learn some because
Yeah.
the teachers who are doing well on italki are not the most qualified and experienced teachers. They're the
Hmm.
teachers who have the right messaging to the student.
Yep. Yeah, very good. So that's a great place to start. Do you have teachers on I'm getting all the companies mixed up, on Off2Class that are completely like, I've got my students, I have a website, and I'm funneling students through social media or things like that? Is that something that you see a lot of teachers on Off2Class using?
Oh,
Yep.
absolutely. And we have some teachers who stay at that level, as I'm a teacher.
Mm-hmm.
And then we have other teachers who go down that road,
Mm.
get more students than they can handle,
Mm-hmm.
hire other teachers, and then become a
Mm.
language school.
Almost. Okay. Yeah. Cool. That's awesome. And you guys handle the payment stuff, do you? Or actually, it's not. That all happens.
Yes,
That would all happen outside of
right. So
Off2Class.
because there are so many different systems all over the world, and we could never do something that would meet everybody's needs.
Right. Yeah.
Often
For sure.
we let everyone deal with that in a way that works best for their circumstances.
Okay.
Whether pre-COVID, people paying cash in person for
Yeah.
lessons, or whether PayPal, or there are other parts of the world where they're not using PayPal.
Yeah.
There are other solutions that are excellent for that,
Yeah.
and Off2Class can work very well alongside those.
Yeah. And I guess if you're on if you're an iTalki teacher or
The
reply
platform
teacher,
handles it.
that platform handles it anyway. Yeah. And if you wanted to go independent, I mean, you could use other payment gateways,
So many ways to
PayPal
do that.
and all that
Yeah,
kind of
right.
stuff.
Stripe and everything else. Yeah, there are so many things.
Yeah, very cool. Awesome. Yeah, I'm just trying to think if there's anything else that I wanted to dig into with you, but this is really exciting. And if you're watching this video and you're kind of interested in, maybe exploring these options or even just kind of getting your feet wet, I would encourage you to go to Off2Class and check out their new free account, which is unlimited for that set amount of lessons, right? And maybe just
That's
take
right.
a look at what they are offering. Is it just a sign up, Chris, that people have to do? Just sign in there?
Yeah, you just
Okay.
go to off2class.com and put in your email address, and boom, you confirm it, and then you're in, and you get a tour of the platform and
Yep.
emails from me where I show you how to do everything.
Yep.
Every week we have a live webinar, we have a Facebook group. So we really try to do a lot of, if in addition to just the platform, we try to do a lot to support teachers, especially teachers who are still finding their way and getting their bearings, to give them the tools that they need to be successful in this world.
That's awesome. Yeah, I love that the support is there, and I think it can be maybe a little bit scary at first for someone who's only taught with
Oh yeah.
the platforms that kind of do it all for you. But as easy and seamless as those are, I think the idea of charging what you want and going out on your own is just so exciting. And thank you so much, Chris, for popping on here and just chatting with us about it. And I look forward to hearing great stories of people who are joining Off2Class and branching out. So appreciate it so
Absolutely.
much.
Yeah, it's great to be here, Tim. Thanks so much for having me.
So there you have it. Thank you so much, Chris, for coming on the channel and talking about Off2Class, what it can offer teachers, and really how online teachers that are maybe currently in the industry working for online companies can start to think about how they can take their business a step further and get their feet wet in a very safe and encouraging way. If you enjoyed it, please hit the like button below. It really helps the algorithm for YouTube to push the content to other online ESL teachers. And again, if you have not subscribed or click the bell for notifications, I would appreciate it if you would do that now. Just have a look below. If you have questions about going independent or some of the struggles that might bring with it, or you have other options and you are an independent teacher, we would love to hear from you in the comments below. I try to respond to every single comment on my videos, and I would love to get a conversation going down in the comments below related to going independent and going solo and charging the money that you are worth as a teacher. You will never make the money that you are worth working for online ESL companies, but I always say that working for a company is a great way to start, and I still advocate a lot of online ESL teaching with Chinese-based companies because you can really start to learn the industry, and especially if you're not already a teacher, or if you are a teacher, a lot of the skills are a little bit different, and definitely the training that comes with working for a company is really, really awesome, and it can be a great way to kind of get started really quickly. So if you are interested in online ESL teaching, again, the links are below in the description. You can always send me an email and I would be happy to respond and give you the best advice that I can. With that being said, thank you for being here again, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Have a great day, everyone.